I guess we're rolling. We're coaches and players and media always obviously enjoying a day off on Labor Day. So we are glad to get the first win behind us. Our post-game conference, media conference, is pretty accurate in that we performed well on defense and ran to the ball and made tackles and played pretty well in space. Offensively, our key players made enough plays. Our special teams was good once we corrected a couple coverage issues. Quinn kicked the ball well, and it was a good win for us. You never really know what to expect. In the first game, we had a pretty good idea of what we should accomplish, and so I was pleased. And the short week makes things happen a lot faster for us. We obviously went out and practiced longer last night than we are accustomed to, and then we'll have a full practice tonight, and we'll be very light tomorrow. We'll have to play well. This is a good football team we're playing. They've got experience at the key positions. In my opinion, when you play on the road, they have experienced quarterback, skilled guys that have made plays and have a chance to play beyond this level. Defensively, they're very similar to what we've seen. Obviously, we're used to them from preparing in the bowl, but playing some man coverage on third downs and challenging you, getting up in your face and bring some pressure and see if you can defeat man coverage with your skill guys and make plays. We're healthy as a football team, and we're in good shape now. We just need to go out and have a good week of practice and get the guys ready to play hard on Thursday night.
What's the biggest challenge Cole presents to your defense?
You said Arizona's offense?
Yeah, Cole specifically as quarterback, what's his biggest attributes of the challenge?
Well, experience is one. He's played in a lot of games, and so anytime you compete against a quarterback that's got a number of games of experience, you're always concerned about that. But he throws the ball well. He's been accurate and throws the deep ball well. He's got nice touch and lays it up and lets him go get it.
Did you see anything in the Northern Arizona tape that you didn't see in the bowl game?
There's not a lot of difference, X's and O's wise. Offensively, I see them as going back to more of what they originally started with. It looked like to me they went through a little bit of a transition in the last couple years, and I think they've gone back to what maybe that original plan was. Other than that, it was very similar.
Coach, this past Saturday, the Cowboys threw for more yards than any school in the nation. Did you guys expect to throw that much?
Well, our style of play, from a run-pass standpoint, is based on how the defense approaches us. And you guys follow it really close. We're not a heavy tight end wing set. So if they really wanted to, they could force us into a lot of passes and run based on what they give us. And so it's hard to predict how many pass attempts or run attempts that we'll get going into a game. And so we were fortunate that we were able to throw it around and make some plays. We've got a number of guys that can go get the ball. And one of the discussions I had with the team was we are very fortunate now that we have a number of guys that didn't even show up really in statistics that are pretty good football players that have had a good camp. And so because of that, we should be able to throw the ball around pretty good. And I've talked about some of those guys. Obviously, Tracy Moore had a big game, and I don't know that everybody would have predicted that, but he's practiced well in August, and Isaiah practiced well in August. Hubert's maybe had his best camp ever. Jeremy had 23 yards rushing, I think. So we have the capability to do either, I hope. We just have to continue to put the right plan together and play fast and spread it around.
What worries you the most about the quick turnaround?
Well, with our group, we really just wanted to get them focused on a simple game plan, and we wanted to go play hard. I would say that most coaches, on a quick turnaround, you worry about fatigue of your players and whether they're going to be ready to make that turnaround and play with a lot of energy. I would hope that our preseason plan is going to allow us to do that.
Coach, is there any concern about routine? Because if you go on the road for one of these Thursday games, you're on the road, you're in a hotel, it seems somewhat normal. When you're at home, it's not like a Saturday. There's class and things of that nature. Does that at all concern you, just that it's a Thursday game and the change of routine and so forth, or no?
The change in routine concerns us as coaches and players because everything becomes such a habit during the season. And the most difficult part is what you mentioned, is being in our routine, in our walkthroughs and going to a movie and being in the hotel and then coming over for walkthroughs, and it's a class. There's class going on. There's students walking back and forth. It's kind of distracting. I see Sam over there nodding. He understands. You're in a routine that you go to a walkthrough and then you go back to the hotel and you watch ball games all day. Now there's no ball games on, so some of our guys watch the History Channel. Some of them watch SpongeBob. So there's a real contrast in what they actually can do during the afternoon. But we've done it before, Dave. We were here last year, and then I guess 2 years ago was Colorado. And so I hope the maturity of our team comes forth and they understand the importance of staying focused on playing in the game that night.
With all that said, like the last now 3 years in a row that you've done the Thursday games, it seems like you and Mike Holder and everyone have kind of embraced that Thursday night ESPN type game. Just what are the benefits that you see of doing the weeknight national TV type game?
The discussions that we've had over the past 4 or 5 years are in building our program and trying to create some tradition and national recognition is free marketing. And being the only show on Thursday night, there's a lot of viewers out there. And it's not only for our football team, but it's for our university. And when that logo's on the screen for 3 hours and the opportunities that gives us to market Oklahoma State University and our football team, we think is an advantage. There are some cons, obviously, the vendors and people in the community, and we have a large number of people that drive from probably an hour away. And so we weigh both options, and we just feel like where we're at right now with our football program and what we're trying to do over the long haul, that it's advantageous for us. We make a little money at it, pay some bills. So we've had those discussions, and we've come to the agreement that if the situation's right, then it's probably a good setup for Oklahoma State University.
From a player standpoint, I have to imagine they also got to be excited for different reasons to play a national spotlight game. Do you get that kind of sense from talking with you guys?
I think they enjoy playing on a Thursday night game. Once they get into a season, they don't really talk a lot about it, but in the off season, you do hear some of those talks.
Quinn Sharp had 19 points Saturday. How do you think he is doing approaching the mental aspect of doing all 3 phases of the kicking game?
Up to this point, he's doing very well. And now it's early, and I would like to think that his experience and maturity would help in those 3 areas. Joe DeForest and Rob Glass have come up with a plan to keep him physically rested and in good shape for the long haul. And we feel like we have what we need in place for him to go through this thing for 3 months. And it's a little different than what we've done in the past. For example, he didn't participate last night. He took the day off. And so we'll work through that. And as you know, it's not only physically with kickers and punters, but mentally. And so up to this point, he's done very well, and I would think that he'll stay that way for the remainder of the season.